This video did not exist in your timeline until your consciousness actively summoned it here. You did not stumble upon this transmission by accident. You called it forth because you are finally ready to stop forcing things to happen. Today, we are going to dive deep into the ultimate secret of the quantum field and the true nature of the observer effect. I promise you that by the end of this video, you will completely abandon the exhausting methods you have been using, and you will fully comprehend your infinite power as the living architect of your reality. Tell me, have you ever felt entirely drained by the process of trying to write your reality into existence, secretly wondering if there is an easier, more natural way to create? To understand the magnitude of what we are about to discuss, you must first comprehend the true nature of the space you inhabit. You are not standing in a solid, fixed world. From a metaphysical perspective, you are entirely submerged in the quantum field. This field is a boundless ocean of pure, unformed potential. Everything you could ever desire, every timeline, every relationship, and every level of wealth already exists right now as a suspended wave of probability. But this wave remains formless until it interacts with an observer. Observation is not a passive act of just watching the world go by. Observation is a profoundly active, deeply energetic process. It is the act of anchoring your consciousness onto a specific outcome, forcing the infinite wave to collapse into a singular, tangible physical experience. You are the observer, and your attention is the gravitational force that pulls the invisible into the visible. Let us address the heavy burden you have been carrying. You have been told that to change your life, you must write your desires down hundreds of times. You have filled endless journals with the practice known as scripting. You have tried to force the universe to bend to your will through the sheer exhaustion of your hand. But look closely at how this feels. It often feels like begging. It feels like you are trying to convince an external force to grant you a wish. This is the illusion of separation, the false belief that you and the quantum field are not already one. When you script from a place of lack, you are merely documenting your absence of the desire. You are broadcasting the frequency of waiting. But your reality is not a novel waiting to be written. It is a live, breathing matrix of energy that responds instantly to vibration. The pen is a beautiful tool, but it is too slow for the quantum shift you are ready to experience. The universe does not read your diary. It listens to your frequency. It is time to put the pen down and realize that you possess a much more powerful instrument of creation. You do not need to write the script because you are the director, and the stage is waiting for your verbal command. What does it mean to have a voice-activated reality? It means that your spoken word is not just a method of communication with other human beings. It is the primary mechanism through which you interface with the fabric of existence. Every time you open your mouth to speak, you are sending a concentrated acoustic shockwave into the quantum field. This is not a metaphor. It is the physics of consciousness. The field is essentially a sea of infinite probability, a silent ocean of unformed potential. It remains in a state of suspension until a localized point of consciousness makes a decision. Your voice is the ultimate declaration of that decision. When you speak, you are not describing the world around you. You are commanding the world into formation. You are literally telling the atoms how to behave. Think about your smartphone or your computer. You give it a voice command and it bypasses all the complex internal coding to immediately execute your request. The universe operates on an infinitely more sophisticated version of this same principle. You do not need to understand the complex back-end coding of the cosmos. You only need to speak with the absolute authority of the creator that you are. Your reality is listening, waiting for your instruction. Your physical body is the most advanced spiritual technology ever created in this dimension. Specifically, your vocal cords are not merely biological tissues used for survival. They are high-level frequency generators designed to interact with the unseen dimensions. When you push air from your lungs through your vocal cords, you are taking the invisible breath of life and translating it into a measurable physical vibration. This is the bridge between the spiritual and the material. You are literally pulling energy from the void and giving it physical form through sound. Ancient mystics understood this perfectly. This is why every major spiritual tradition speaks of the universe being created through sound or a divine word. In the beginning was the word. This was not a historical event that happened billions of years ago. It is happening right now, in this exact second, through you. Your vocal cords are the tuning forks of your personal universe. When you resonate them with a specific intention, you force the surrounding energy field to match that exact pitch. You are constantly broadcasting the blueprint of your future. The question is not whether you are creating through sound. The question is, what are you currently commanding into existence with your sacred instrument? To truly grasp this power, we must look at how the observer effect operates in your daily life. In quantum mechanics, a particle exists in a state of pure potential, a wave of all possible outcomes, until it is observed. The moment observation occurs, the wave collapses into a single, defined reality. But observation is not just about looking with your physical eyes. Observation is fundamentally about focused attention and intention. While a silent thought does hold power, it often lacks the concentrated density required for an immediate manifestation. Thoughts are fleeting, chaotic, and easily distracted, but the spoken word requires a synchronization of your mind, your breath, and your physical body. It is a triple-layered act of observation. When you speak your truth out loud, you are collapsing the quantum wave function with overwhelming force. You are forcefully pulling one specific timeline out of the infinite sea of probabilities and anchoring it into the dense physical plane. This is why a single sentence, spoken with absolute conviction and lack of doubt, can instantly rearrange the circumstances of your life. You are the quantum observer, and your voice is the laser beam that locks the probability into solid fact. Now I want you to examine the casual conversations you have every single day. Most people are completely unaware that they are perpetually casting spells upon themselves. They use the phrase "I am," followed by a curse. They say, "I am always broke," "I am so exhausted," or "My luck is terrible." Every time you utter these phrases, the quantum field takes you literally. The field has no sense of humor. It does not understand sarcasm. It only understands resonance. When you declare that you are exhausted, the universe immediately collapses the wave function to provide you with more situations that drain your energy. You are inadvertently using your divine power of observation to lock yourself into a reality of suffering. You must begin to treat your everyday speech with the utmost reverence. Your words are not cheap. They are the most expensive currency in the universe because they buy your future. From this moment forward, you must ruthlessly eliminate any spoken sentence that contradicts the reality you wish to experience. If you would not want it to manifest immediately in front of your eyes, do not let it cross your lips. You must become the ultimate guardian of your own acoustic output. One of the greatest traps in the modern spiritual community is the concept of trying to manifest something. When you say, "I am trying to attract wealth," or "I am trying to heal," you are locking the field into the state of trying. The reality of trying is vastly different from the reality of having. Trying implies distance. It implies struggle. It reinforces the illusion that the thing you desire is outside of you, somewhere in the distant future. True voice-activated reality requires you to shift from the frequency of the seeker to the frequency of the owner. You must move from trying to declaring. A declaration is a final statement. It leaves no room for debate. When a sovereign ruler makes a decree, they do not hope it will happen. They know it is already done the moment the words leave their mouth. You must adopt this exact sovereign energy. Instead of hoping for a change, you must announce the change to the atoms in your room. I am abundant, I am whole, this timeline is now active. When you declare it as a finished fact, the universe has no choice but to rush in and fill the physical space to match the energetic mold you just created with your voice. The delay is only an illusion of the dense physical realm. Have you ever noticed how reality seems to eavesdrop on your private conversations? You casually mention a friend you have not seen in years, and suddenly they call you the next day. You talk about a specific obscure topic, and within hours, an article about it appears on your screen. You call these moments coincidences, but there is absolutely nothing coincidental about them. This is the quantum field providing you with a direct receipt of your vocal transaction. The field is highly sensitive to the acoustic vibrations you emit, especially when you speak without resistance. When you casually mention that old friend, you do not have any emotional blockages or desperation attached to the thought. You just speak it and let it go, because the wave is unhindered by your anxiety or doubt. It collapses instantly. This is the profound secret of the effortless manifestation. It is the realization that your casual, relaxed statements are often the most powerful commands you issue. Imagine if you could speak about your ultimate desires with the same casual, detached certainty. If you could talk about your profound success as easily as you talk about the weather, the universe would deliver it with the exact same speed and precision. This knowledge is not new. It has been hidden in plain sight within ancient esoteric traditions for thousands of years. The concept of the spoken command was the closely guarded secret of mystics, alchemists, and high priests. They understood that to know the true name of a thing was to have dominion over it. When they spoke incantations or mantras, they were not pleading with invisible gods. They were precisely vibrating their vocal cords to intersect with the mathematical frequencies of the universe. They knew that words are geometric codes. When spoken with trained intention, these codes unlock the hidden doors of the quantum matrix. Today we use different terminology. We talk about energy, frequency, and vibration, but the underlying mechanics remain entirely unchanged. You are walking around with the exact same biological hardware as the ancient masters. The only difference is your level of awareness. You have been conditioned to believe that your voice is powerless, that you are a victim of external circumstances. It is time to reclaim the ancient technology hidden within your throat. You must recognize that you are a living, breathing oracle, fully capable of commanding reality through the mastery of your spoken word. We must have a very serious conversation about the habit of complaining. Complaining is not just a harmless venting of frustration. From a metaphysical standpoint, complaining is a highly concentrated, dark manifestation spell. When you gather with others to complain about your job, your relationships, or the state of the world, you are creating a powerful collective resonance. You are actively summoning the exact energies you claim to hate. Remember, the universe does not hear the word no, it only hears the subject of your focus. When you passionately vocalize your grievances, you are injecting massive amounts of emotional fuel into the reality you do not want. You are forcefully commanding the quantum field to keep you imprisoned in that specific loop of experience. Every complaint is a reinforced brick in the wall of your own suffering. If you want to experience a rapid, miraculous shift in your timeline, you must take a vow of absolute silence regarding your limitations. You must refuse to give your sacred vocal energy to anything that does not serve your highest timeline. Starve your problems of the acoustic attention they need to survive. Watch how quickly they wither and disappear when you stop speaking their names. To master voice-activated reality, you must begin to see your physical body as a musical instrument that requires constant tuning. Right now, your instrument might be out of tune. It might be vibrating at the frequency of fear, doubt, or past trauma. When you try to speak a command of abundance from an instrument tuned to scarcity, the sound is discordant. The quantum field receives a mixed signal. It hears the words of wealth, but it feels the vibration of poverty. The field will always respond to the underlying vibration, not just the surface words. Therefore, your daily practice is not just about saying the right things, it is about fundamentally retuning your body to the frequency of truth. You do this by dropping out of your frantic mind and anchoring your awareness in your heart center before you speak. You take a deep, conscious breath, pulling energy up from the earth. You feel the absolute certainty of your existence. You align your posture with the dignity of a creator. Only then, from this grounded, centered state, do you issue your vocal command. When your words are backed by the full, resonant power of an aligned nervous system, reality has no choice but to instantly obey the instruction. As you begin to practice this conscious vocalization, you will start to experience a rapid increase in what you call synchronicities. You will see repeating numbers, hear specific phrases from strangers, or encounter highly improbable situations that perfectly match your intentions. You must understand exactly what these signs are. They are not random. They are the immediate acoustic echo of the quantum field bouncing back to you. When you shout into a massive canyon, it takes a moment for the sound wave to travel to the rock wall and return to your ears. The quantum field works the exact same way, but on a multidimensional level. When you issue a pure, unresisted vocal command, the universe immediately begins rearranging the physical structures around you. The synchronicities are the first visible ripples of that rearrangement. They are the universe saying, "I hear you," and the collapse of the wave function has begun. When you see these signs, you must not ignore them or write them off as mere coincidence. You must acknowledge them. Speak out loud and say, "I see the evidence of my command." This reinforces the feedback loop, accelerating the materialization of your ultimate desire into solid form. Let me give you a profound example of how this works in the lives of ordinary people. Think about a time when someone jokingly declared something outrageous, and it actually happened. Perhaps a friend laughed and said, "I am going to get that ridiculous promotion," even though they were completely unqualified. And against all odds, a week later, they were handed the job. Why did this happen? Was it blind luck? No, it was the mechanics of the field operating perfectly. Because they were joking, they bypassed the conscious mind's critical filter. They had zero resistance, zero anxiety, and zero desperation. They spoke the command with a light, detached energy. The wave function collapsed instantly because there was no contradictory vibration holding it back. This is the exact state you must cultivate. You must learn to speak your world into being with the playful authority of someone who already knows the outcome. The universe loves a relaxed creator. The harder you grip the steering wheel, the more resistance you create. But when you issue your command with a smile, fully trusting the process, you slip right past the guards of the matrix. You hack the system simply by refusing to take the illusion of the physical world so seriously. There is a profound secret hidden not just in the words you speak, but in the silence that surrounds them. The space between your words is the silent void where creation actually ferments. Most people speak frantically, filling every second of airtime out of a deep discomfort with the void. But the master creator knows that silence is the womb of manifestation. When you issue a vocal command to the field, you must follow it with deliberate, potent silence. You must give the instruction room to breathe, to expand, and to penetrate the layers of reality. If you speak a powerful intention and immediately follow it with idle chatter or anxious questions, you are muddying the frequency. You are pulling the seed out of the soil before it can take root. Try this practice. State your sovereign command out loud. "I am now entering my highest timeline of freedom." And then stop, close your mouth, breathe. Let the vibration ring out into the room. Feel the density of the silence that follows. In that silence, you will feel a subtle shift in the atmospheric pressure around you. That is the feeling of reality bending to accommodate your spoken word. Honor the silence, for it is the canvas upon which your voice paints. This brings us back to why you must give up the pen and stop obsessing over scripting techniques. Scripting keeps you trapped in the logical, linear, left hemisphere of the brain. It forces you to figure out the exact how and when of your manifestation. But the quantum field does not operate linearly. It operates multidimensionally and non-locally. When you write out a lengthy plan of how your desire must come to pass, you are actually limiting the universe. You are telling the infinite intelligence of the cosmos that it is only allowed to deliver your blessing through one narrow, specific channel. You must surrender the need to micromanage reality. Your job is not to dictate the how. Your job is only to command the what and to let the universe handle the logistics. When you use your voice to claim the end result, you instantly bypass the need for a step-by-step plan. You jump straight to the finish line. You must trust the invisible vibration of your voice more than you trust the ink on a piece of paper. The written word is a static record of the past. The spoken word is a living, breathing pulse of the future rushing into the present moment. Your subconscious mind is the engine room of your reality. It dictates 95% of your behaviors, your perceptions, and the energetic signals you emit. And here is the most crucial fact you must understand. Your subconscious mind recognizes and obeys the authority of your own physical voice more than any other sound in existence. When you read a book or listen to a guru, your subconscious filters the information. It questions it. But when you hear your own vocal cords vibrating in your own skull, the subconscious mind stands at attention. It assumes that whatever is being spoken must be the absolute truth. This is why self-deprecating humor is so deeply destructive. Even if your conscious mind knows it is a joke, your subconscious mind takes it as a direct order. You must start speaking to yourself out loud, alone in your room, with the tone of a benevolent but firm commander. Tell your subconscious mind exactly what the new rules are. Say out loud, we are no longer accepting relationships that drain us. We are now operating from a baseline of pure abundance. Your subconscious will hear the resonance in your voice, accept the new programming, and immediately begin pulling the necessary synchronicities into your life. We must differentiate between the common practice of positive affirmations and true vocal declarations. Affirmations often fail because people use them to try and convince themselves of something they do not actually believe. They stand in front of a mirror, feeling deeply insecure, and mechanically repeat, "I am beautiful, I am successful." The quantum field entirely ignores the hollow words and simply mirrors back the deep insecurity. A vocal declaration is entirely different. A declaration is not an attempt to persuade yourself. It is a statement of universal law. When you make a declaration, you are not asking for permission. You are turning on a light switch. You know that when you flip the switch, the electricity will flow. You do not need to repeat it 100 times. You just flip it. You must find the frequency of the light switch inside your body. When you speak your truth, do not do it from a pleading, hopeful energy. Do it from the calm, irrefutable energy of a fact. Speak your new reality the same way you would state that the sky is blue. It is simply the way things are. When you hit that exact tone of neutrality and absolute knowing, the manifestation is mathematically guaranteed to follow. The spoken word is the vehicle, but your emotion is the fuel. Without emotional resonance, your words are just empty sound waves dissipating in the air. To effectively voice activate your reality, you must marry the thought to the feeling at the exact moment of speech. This requires a profound level of presence. Before you speak your command, you must take a moment to physically feel the reality of the desire in your body. If you are commanding health, you must locate the feeling of vitality within your cells. You must remember what it feels like to run without pain, to breathe deeply, to feel invincible. You must amplify that feeling until it fills your entire chest cavity. And then, at the absolute peak of that emotion, you ride the wave and speak the words, "I am perfect health." The combination of the spoken acoustic wave and the intense electromagnetic field of the heart creates an unstoppable force. It rips through the veil of the physical world and instantly reorders the quantum field. You are literally shocking the system into a new configuration. This is not a passive meditation. It is an active, dynamic, and incredibly powerful act of creation that requires your full participation. As you master this technology, you will begin to notice a bizarre phenomenon. Your immediate environment will start to visibly react to the shifts in your vocal frequency. Animals are highly sensitive to this. You may find that when you speak from your centered creative frequency, pets will suddenly calm down or gravitate toward you. People around you will unconsciously change their posture or the tone of their own voice when you enter the room. This happens because your localized reality bubble is expanding and imposing its new structural integrity on everything within its radius. People who are accustomed to your old victim state frequency might suddenly feel uncomfortable around you. They might even become argumentative, trying to pull you back down to a vibration they recognize. You must not engage with this. You must hold your ground. Do not shrink your voice to make others comfortable. Let your resonant frequency act as a tuning fork for the room. When you hold your spoken truth with unwavering authority, the people around you will either entrain to your higher frequency or they will naturally fall away from your experience. You are shifting timelines and the scenery must inevitably change. There will be moments when you issue your command, yet the physical world seems stubbornly unchanged. You will speak abundance, but you will still look at a depleted bank account. This is the ultimate test of the master creator. You must understand the concept of the quantum echo. The reality you are experiencing right now is simply the delayed manifestation of the words and thoughts you broadcasted weeks, months, or years ago. It is the light from a dead star still traveling through space. When you see the old reality persisting, you must not panic. You must not let it trick you into speaking words of defeat. If you say, "This is not working," you have just issued a new command to abort the manifestation. Instead, you must look at the old reality right in the face and speak over it. You must say, "I see you, but you are just an echo. I am the creator, and I have already spoken the new truth." You must stubbornly insist on the reality of your invisible command over the illusion of your present circumstances. This requires a radical act of faith. But when you refuse to blink, when you refuse to change your tune, the physical matrix will eventually run out of the old momentum and collapse into the new form. You are rapidly approaching the ultimate realization of your existence on this planet. You are not a tiny, powerless human wandering through a massive, indifferent universe. You are the universe itself, experiencing itself through a localized point of view. You are the divine architect, and your physical body is the sacred temple where the blueprint is drawn. Sound is your primary tool. Every word you speak is a chisel carving out the events of tomorrow. The time for hiding is over. The time for writing endless, desperate scripts in the dark is over. You are called to step into the light, to clear your throat, and to claim your sovereign right as the director of this reality. The quantum field is awake. It is listening. It is intimately entangled with every breath you take and every syllable you form. You have always had this power. It was never lost. It was only sleeping, waiting for the moment you would finally realize who you truly are. You are the observer. You are the creator. You are the voice that commands the chaos into order. Stop waiting for the world to change and start speaking the new world into existence right now. You are not simply existing within reality. You are the living, breathing reality observing itself into form. To summarize this ultimate truth, remember that your voice is the laser beam that collapses the infinite quantum wave into your physical experience. You are not meant to exhaust yourself by constantly scripting or begging the universe. You are meant to declare your world into existence with the absolute authority of the Creator. Thank you for opening your consciousness to this transmission. If this message resonated deep within your soul, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and anchor your new frequency by writing this exact phrase in the comments below. I am the observer, and my voice commands reality. Now I have a question for you to ponder and share. What specific synchronicities or sudden shifts have you noticed since you started changing the way you speak about your life?